Is it possible that the creator of the universe, the architect of the stars and the author of the laws of physics, would break his own rules just to reach you? We are taught that God is everywhere, yet we often feel that he is distant, sitting upon a throne of judgment, waiting for us to climb the mountain of perfection to reach him. We look at the distance between the altar and the pew, between heaven and earth, between our sinfulness and his holiness, and we think the gap is too wide. But what if I told you that the gap does not exist for him? What if I told you that when a soul truly desires him, even the laws of gravity, even the strict rubrics of the liturgy, and even the physical limitations of the human body are swept aside? There is a story hidden within the leather-bound pages of the Diary of Saint Faustina, specifically in entry number 167, that shatters our understanding of how God operates. It is a story about a priest who thought he was holding God and a nun who saw God break free. It is a story that answers the question, how far will Jesus go to be with me? The answer, as we will discover, is that he will cross any divide, ignore any barrier, and even suspend the laws of nature, just to rest in the hands of one who loves him. Before we step into this miraculous scene, before we watch the host take flight in a display of the physics of love, we must prepare our own hearts to receive him. We must open the doors of our souls, just as Faustina opened her hands. I invite you now, in this moment of quiet connection, to create a sanctuary of mercy right here, wherever you are. Scroll down to the comments and type 4 simple but earth-shattering words. Jesus, I trust in you. And if there is someone in your life, a child, a parent, a spouse, who feels far from God today, leave their first name there as well. We will place them in the path of the flying host, trusting that Jesus can reach them no matter how far away they seem. Do this now, as an act of faith, and let us begin. We live in a world defined by limitations. We are limited by time. There are never enough hours in the day. We are limited by space. We cannot be in 2 places at once. We are limited by our bodies. We get sick. We get tired. We grow old. And often, we project these limitations onto God. We think, I am too tired to pray, so God must be tired of me and Asper. Or we think, I cannot make it to Mass today because of my illness, so I am cut off from the source of grace. We view the sacraments as static locations, places we must go to, boxes we must check. We imagine Jesus in the Eucharist as a prisoner of the tabernacle, waiting passively for us to come and visit him. But the vision given to Saint Faustina reveals a startlingly different reality. It reveals a God who is not passive, but active, a God who is not a prisoner, but a king who can leave the palace whenever he chooses. It reveals that the Eucharist is not a thing to be received, but a person who desires to be received. A person with a heartbeat, a will, and a burning, overwhelming longing to unite himself with you. Let us transport ourselves back to the convent in Poland. It is the 1930s. The world outside is darkening with the shadows of impending war, but inside the convent walls, a different kind of battle is taking place. It is the battle of a single soul against the frailty of her own body. Sister Faustina is not well. We often forget, when looking at her holy cards, that for much of her short life she was racked with pain. Tuberculosis was slowly consuming her lungs and her intestines. There were days when walking was an agony, when breathing felt like inhaling glass. On this particular day, the exhaustion was a heavy blanket weighing down her limbs. She was in the chapel for Mass, but her body was screaming for rest. Imagine being there. The smell of incense and beeswax candles hangs in the cool air. The silence is punctuated only by the coughing of the sick and the rustle of habits. The priest stands at the altar, his back to the sisters, murmuring the ancient Latin prayers. For Faustina, usually, this is the highlight of her existence. The moment heaven touches earth, but today, the physical distance feels like a chasm. She looks at the altar rail. It is not far, perhaps only a few dozen feet. But to a body riddled with fever and weakness, it looks like a mountain range. The doubt begins to creep in. Will I be able to stand? Will I be able to walk to the rail? Maybe I should stay in my place. Maybe I am too weak to receive him today. This is a feeling many of us know, not just physical sickness, but spiritual exhaustion. We feel too sick with sin, too weak with doubt to approach God. We stay in the back pew of life, thinking we are unworthy, thinking that the effort is too great. The moment of communion arrives. The bell rings. Domine, non sum dignus. Lord, I am not worthy. The sisters begin to file out of the pews, their hands folded, heads bowed. The priest turns, holding the ciborium, the golden cup filled with the consecrated hosts. He begins to move along the rail. Corpus Christi, he whispers. Corpus Christi. Faustina remains in her place. The desire in her heart is a burning fire, but the weakness in her legs is a chain of iron. She watches, she yearns, she makes a spiritual communion, crying out from the depths of her soul, telling Jesus how much she loves him, even if she cannot physically reach him. And then, the impossible happens. The laws of physics dictate that a solid object, resting in a container, stays there unless a force acts upon it. Gravity pulls it down. Torpor, friction, holds it in place. But in that convent chapel, a higher law took over, the law of grace. As Faustina watched the priest, she saw the ciborium he was holding. But suddenly, one of the hosts, the body of Christ, began to move. It was not dropped. It was not fumbled by the priest's clumsy fingers. The priest, in fact, did not seem to notice anything at all. He continued his movement along the rail, distributing communion to the other sisters. But Faustina saw it. The host rose. It floated out of the golden cup. It moved through the air, suspended by nothing but its own divine will. It did not fall to the floor. It flew. It traversed the distance between the altar and the sick nun. It moved with purpose, with direction, like a dove returning to its nest. Faustina sat frozen, her breath caught in her throat. The white wafer, glowing with an inner light that only she could perceive, came to rest gently in her hands. The priest was far away at the rail. The other sisters were bowing their heads. No one shouted. No one pointed. The miracle was a secret, a private exchange between a lover and his beloved. And then, as the host rested in her palms, feeling the weight of the creator of the universe pressing against her skin, she heard a voice. It was not a voice that entered through her ears, but a voice that resonated in the very center of her being. It was the voice of Jesus, and his words were filled with an urgency that should make every one of us tremble with hope. He said to her, "I could not wait any longer to unite myself with you." Let those words sink in. I could not wait. We are used to waiting for God. We wait for answers to prayer. We wait for healing. We wait for a sign. But here, God says that he is the one who cannot wait. The divine impatience of love. He saw her weakness. He saw that she could not come to him. And so, he did not stand on ceremony. He did not demand that she crawl to the altar. He did not say, "Well, she is sick, so she misses out today." No, he broke the rules of nature to bridge the gap. This vision changes everything we think we know about our relationship with God. It tells us that when we are weak, he is strong. It tells us that when we cannot take a step toward him, he runs a mile toward us. But why did this happen? And why did the priest not see it? There is a profound theological mystery here. The priest is the minister of the sacrament. He has the authority to consecrate, to bless, to distribute. But Jesus is the high priest. He is the Lord of the sacrament. By bypassing the priest's awareness, Jesus was teaching Faustina and us that while the priesthood is holy and necessary, the direct relationship between the soul and God is the ultimate reality. The priest is the servant. Jesus is the master. The fact that the priest did not see the host fly away suggests that this was a mystical reality manifesting in the physical world for Faustina alone. To the priest, perhaps the count of hosts was simply one less, or perhaps he didn't count at all. But for Faustina, the physical reality was undeniable. She held him. She received him. This leads us to a second, deeper layer of this encounter. It is the concept of the living host. Throughout the diary, Saint Faustina records multiple instances where the veil of the appearance of bread is lifted. In entry 44, she describes seeing the child Jesus in the host. In other entries, she sees the host glowing like the sun, with rays of red and pale light bursting forth to cover the world. These visions are not hallucinations. They are glimpses into the true nature of reality. We see bread. Heaven sees fire. We see a wafer. Heaven sees a king. When the host flew to Faustina, it was a revelation that the Eucharist is alive. It has volition. It makes choices. Think of the times you have sat in adoration or stood in line for communion. Have you ever thought, "He is looking at me," or do you think you are looking at an object? Faustina's flying host reminds us that we are being watched, loved, and pursued by the person hidden in the bread. But let us go deeper into the words Jesus spoke. I could not wait any longer. Why such urgency? Is God not eternal? Does he not have all the time in the world? In the realm of love, time is measured differently. When you love someone deeply, separation is painful. A minute feels like an hour. An hour feels like a year. Jesus loves us with an infinite burning passion. His desire to be united with us in Holy Communion is greater than our desire to receive him. We often go to communion out of habit or duty or a mild desire for grace. But he comes to us with the force of a hurricane, held back only by the delicate veil of the sacrament. He could not wait. This implies that Jesus is actively waiting for us. He counts the minutes until Mass begins. He counts the steps you take toward the church. And when you cannot come, when you are sick, when you are homebound, when you are trapped in a situation where the sacraments are denied to you, his heart aches with the desire to be with you. This is a message of immense comfort for those who are suffering. Perhaps you are listening to this, and you are elderly, unable to drive to Mass. Perhaps you are in a hospital bed. Perhaps you are struggling with a sin that keeps you from the table, and you feel exiled. Faustina's miracle tells you, do not despair. The walls of the church cannot contain him. The golden cup cannot hold him back. If you cannot go to the altar, make your heart an altar. This brings us to another aspect of the diary that parallels this miracle. The power of spiritual communion. Jesus told Faustina that many souls receive him sacramentally, but treat him as a dead object, while others, who may not be able to receive him physically, receive him spiritually with such love that they gain immense treasure. The flying host is the ultimate validation of spiritual hunger. Faustina's hunger for Jesus was so intense that it acted like a magnet. It pulled the host from the ciborium. This is the physics of love. Just as gravity pulls objects to the earth, love pulls God to the soul. Your desire is a force. When you sit in your room and say, Jesus, I want you, I need you, come to me, you are exerting a spiritual gravitational pull. You may not see the host fly through the window, but the reality of his presence is just as true. He comes, he enters, he abides. Let us look at another dimension of this event, the reaction of Jesus to our weakness. In our human relationships, weakness is often a liability. If you are too sick to go out with friends, they might stop calling. If you are too tired to work, you might lose your job. We are valued for our strength, our productivity, our ability to show up. But with Jesus, our weakness is often the very thing that attracts his mercy. In the diary, Jesus tells Faustina, the greater the sinner, the greater the right he has to my mercy. We can paraphrase this for our context. The greater the weakness, the greater the right to his strength. Faustina was weak. She was incapacitated, and that was exactly why Jesus acted. If she had been strong enough to walk to the rail, she would have simply walked, received, and returned. It would have been a normal Sunday, but because she was weak, she witnessed a miracle. Do you see the pattern? Your struggles, your limitations, your inability to be the perfect Christian. These are not barriers. These are invitations for Jesus to do something miraculous in your life. When you say, "Lord, I can't do this," He replies, "I know. That is why I am coming to do it for you." There is a terrifying beauty in this. It means we have no excuse to feel abandoned. If the host can fly, then help can come from nowhere. If the host can fly, then financial ruin can be turned around. If the host can fly, then a prodigal child can be brought home by means we cannot see. The flying host is a symbol of God's sovereignty over every crisis. Now, I want to address a question that might be rising in your heart. This happened to a saint. Saint Faustina was a mystic. I am just a normal person with a messy life. Jesus wouldn't fly across the room for me. This is the voice of the accuser. It is the lie that says miracles are reserved for the museum pieces of the church, the statues in the niches. But read the diary carefully. Jesus repeatedly tells Faustina that she is merely the secretary. The message is not for her. It is through her for us. When Jesus says, "I could not wait to unite myself with you," He is speaking to the human soul, to your soul. The specific miracle of the flying host was a physical sign given to her so that she could write it down, so that 80 years later you could hear about it and know that He feels the same way about you. He cannot wait to forgive you. He cannot wait to heal you. He cannot wait to hold you. The only thing that stops Him, the only thing that can keep the host in the cup, so to speak, is our refusal to open our hands. It is our lack of trust. Faustina had trust. Even in her sickness, she expected Him. She looked at the altar. She didn't turn away in bitterness. She didn't close her eyes and sleep. She watched. She waited. She trusted. And this brings us to the practical application of this profound mystery. How do we live this out today, in the 21st century, in our busy, distracted lives? First, we must recover our sense of awe for the Eucharist. The next time you are at Mass, watch the priest. Watch the ciborium. Remind yourself, that is not bread. That is the fire of divine love, barely contained. When you go up to communion, or when you pray in the pew, remember that you are approaching a person who is trembling with excitement to be with you. It changes the way you pray. It stops being a monologue and starts being a reunion. Second, we must practice the call of desire. If you cannot go to Mass, do not let that day pass without a visitation. Stop what you are doing. Close your eyes. Visualize the tabernacle of your local church. Visualize the host and invite Him. Say, "Lord, I cannot come to you, so you must come to me. I claim the promise of Saint Faustina. Fly to my heart, Lord." Third, we must trust Him with our loved ones who are too far away from the rail. Many of us have children or spouses who have stopped going to church. They seem spiritually sick, unable or unwilling to walk to the altar. We nag them, we worry, we panic. But remember the physics of love. Jesus can reach them. He can fly over the barriers of their skepticism, their anger, their laziness. Our job is to be like Faustina, to witness, to love, and to provide a place for Jesus to land. We pray for them. We offer our own communions for them. We say, "Lord, my son cannot come to you right now. He is spiritually paralyzed. Go to him. Do not wait. Unite yourself with him in a way he cannot resist." The Diary of Saint Faustina is full of these assurances. It is a book of rescue. It is a logbook of the divine ambulance service. Jesus is always the first responder. There is another detail in the life of Saint Faustina that connects to this. On another occasion, she saw the infant Jesus running on the altar. Again, movement. Again, life. God is dynamic. He is on the move. He is not a statue. He is not a concept. As we draw this reflection to a close, let us return to the image of the sick nun and the flying host. Imagine the silence of that moment. The priest is murmuring. The host is moving through the air, silent as a snowflake, yet powerful as a star. It lands. Faustina feels the texture of the wafer, but her soul feels the embrace of the Almighty. I could not wait. What are you waiting for today? What miracle do you think is too big for God? What distance seems too far? The mercy of God is not a passive ocean. It is a rushing tide. It crashes over the sea walls of our resistance. It floods the dry canyons of our despair. And most importantly, it seeks out the lowest places. Water always flows downward. Mercy always flows to misery. If you feel low today, if you feel small, if you feel weak, rejoice. You are in the perfect position to receive the flying host. You are the target of his love. Do not let the enemy convince you that you are forgotten. A God who defies gravity to reach a sick nun in a Polish winter is a God who will move heaven and earth to help you with your rent, your marriage, your depression, your fear. He is coming. He is active. He is near. Let us end with a prayer of surrender, inviting this active, flying, pursuing mercy into our lives. Lord Jesus, prisoner of love, who broke the bars of the Ciborium to fly to your beloved servant Faustina, break the barriers of my heart today. I am weak, Lord. I often feel too tired to pray, too sinful to approach you, too broken to believe. But I know that you cannot wait to be with me. I give you permission to override my hesitation. Come to me, Lord. Fly over the mountains of my doubt. Rest in my hands, rest in my heart, and let me hear your voice saying, I am here. I love you. I could not stay away. We place into the rays of your mercy all those we named in the comments, those who are far from the altar, those who are sick, those who are lost. Chase them down, Lord, with your love. We trust in your power. We trust in your desire. We trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you. Jesus, I trust in you.